can hear everything.
When it on. When it on.
Where did you get this one from? It's so cute.
Hey, that one is a long story. I'll have to tell it one day. Hey, it was allegedly, yeah. Let's not talk about it. Welcome back to another episode of iTALK. I'm your host, Pretty Boy with a 3, and I'm out here again, and the sun is matataring my face as per usual on these Leitanyana episodes. But welcome back, and today in the building we've got first Cinci. Let's start with the return guest. And yeah, who else do we have in the building today?
Yeah, so it's my first time here. My name is MPHATSO, and very excited about today.
Shout out MPHATSO. Can you just give me a second? Just a second. But you know what we must do now, firstly, before we get off, right?
Yeah,
we must develop a culture of when I stand up during a pod, the guests pretend like I don't stand up. Okay. So anytime I stand up, just continue with whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because it pauses the conversation, and I feel like the juices get lost when the conversation is paused, so just continue, But yes, MPHATSO, you said.
Yeah.
What is it that you do, bro?
So I'm a business developer, and my academic background's finance. I do many things. I really do many things. I obsess a lot in what I do, so even if I were to tell you that this is what I do, honestly, I'll do it well, then I'll get tired of it, so I'll look for something else to do.
Okay, so what are you currently busy with right now?
Right now, business development. Yeah, everybody's digging for gold. I'm selling shovels. So everybody's starting a business.
That's a far. Yeah.
Everybody's starting a business, and I love that for everybody. It's really the right way to go. But I'll help you. Everybody wants a business.
So what business are we talking about? Like big businesses, smaller businesses, like what type? Like maybe someone selling clothes or food or what?
No, great question. Thank you. So most of the businesses I work with, most of my clients are small and medium enterprises. I've got clients here in Africa. Well, my biggest client is in Nigeria. That's where most of my workflow comes from. And I have 2, maybe 3 clients here in South Africa. Is it 2? No, 3. And these are all, these Kakana guys supplies gas to restaurants. And I developed his business. I get him clients. I was able to get him 4 clients last week, and I overbooked him. I put him under a lot of pressure. I gave him a bit too much to do, so we're on pause at the moment. And also, Copy Joy, Jamie is one of my clients from Cape Town. Fantastic man. Sells copywriting subscriptions. And it's a very good product. Once again, everyone starts to get business, but...
What kind of copyright does he sell?
He sells copyright subscriptions on anything. So search engine optimized, whether it's blog content or a social media campaign or even email campaign. He writes the stories, and we're heading towards a digital economy, and it's very important that you have a place as a business, right? There is a digital world, and it's very important that as a business that people know where you are. You must have rocks, you must have buildings, so you must publish and have a standing in your industry. So that's what he sells to his subscribers, just consistent publications of material. But this isn't a podcast about copy, but also another fantastic client. We did really well last week. His their business is called I Inspect.
Okay. I like iPhone, or I like
iPhone,
and then Inspect.
I Inspect. So it is software, and it's web and mobile based here in South Africa, right? South African guys. And the 2 founders, one is in Joburg, another is in Cape Town as well. So these guys have created software that automates the entire inspection workflow, the entire inspection process, and
Inspection of what?
inspection of whatever it could be, whatever
Okay.
industry you're in, right? Because there is a lot of checklists that must happen, and there's a lot of documents involved with inspections and a lot of with audits as well. So there's a lot of details that need to be confirmed. And when it comes to detail, it's very important that we automate it, because obviously computers can devote to that, and leaving us as humans.
So is it
opportunity.
like an open source software? Is it like a software that, you know, you buy? Let's say I'm a hospital, I own a clinic. This is a software that I buy. Okay, and then we can. So it's not like an open source where like I can download it, and if I need like an inspection for like a car or whatever, you know, do I have the resources there, or do I have to like buy the software if like I'm a car dealership and then have all the
you have
process?
to buy the software.
Okay.
And
configure it to your needs and
so
your
these
businesses.
guys are developers in the true sense.
Yeah.
So they give you a rough pilot, you know, the bare model, and then they're like, so this is what the system does. This is what it can do. Now we'll put a few nuances in it so that it's tailored towards your business. And that's what they do. You package it in. But that's what I'm doing here in South Africa. But most of my clients, my best client is in
Nigeria.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay.
I got him through my Nigerian client in Lagos. She's a lovely lady. Her name is Sabina. She really believes in me, so she gives me a lot of opportunities.
Shout out
Sabina Nwanze. I hope she see. I know you're gonna see this. I'm wearing a suit today for all my clients, so it's gonna be good. And she linked me to a client in Los Angeles, and it's for what I stand for. Because obviously I'm obsessed with business. It's what I do.
Okay, so when did you realize that business is your thing?
It's just always been the way I've seen the world.
So as a kid, would you like sell something?
Yeah.
Like would you what?
I actually have a good story.
Yeah,
So,
let's hear.
I'm Malawian born.
Okay.
Right? And when I came to South Africa, I went to a really good school, and they only rewarded chess players. Right? So the chess players would get actual money.
Okay.
Right? You can be in grade 2, they'll give you 400 rand. In 2009, right? That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Especially
I realized that. And that's when I committed to it. And even most of the business that I do, it's not like it's a product that I sell. It's mostly opportunities that I embrace and I commit to, and take the responsibility to deliver these products and these services, these commitments. And ever since then, I've just adopted that whole approach. So when I was young, with chess, it was that I didn't know how to play chess, right? Not even by the slightest. You know, I'm coming from Malawi. You know, in grade 2 here in South Africa, kids can read. By grade 2.
Yeah.
In Malawi, you read in grade 7.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So like, I didn't know how to.
Yeah.
You didn't know how to read.
Yeah, I didn't know how to read. You know,
but why is that though? Like, is it like the education is poor or
is that how
what?
it's like set up?
That's just how it's set up. I mean.
But then what are kids doing in like grade 2 if they're not learning how to read?
Yeah.
Repeating 1 to 10, and that's what school is all about. It's basically employment opportunities or hobbies. In Malawi, school is a hobby. It's not really like something intentional. And there's very few. There's very little impact you can use it. Impact, let's say, because impact is measured over time, right? So, of course, if you do commit to it, then over time you can become a very affluent person. But off of what's given in the education system, it's quite a struggle to muscle through.
Okay, back to your chess story. Yeah, you're still telling us in grade 2. Yeah.
So, in grade 2, I forced myself to play chess. And I got really good, and started making money. And then I started teaching other kids how to do it, and I was making more money teaching them how to play chess than I was making off the winnings. Because not many kids that play chess could explain it to other guys that don't play chess. So that was my first time. That was my first time grade 2 being like, hey, I actually have a mission, and I can deliver a service if I commit to it. And that is when I realized business for me. But where the decision was final was in high school. Subject choice is one of those very delicate matters. So I started off grade 10. I was doing a combination of, just whatever my heart felt. So I did some geography. I was doing business studies and I think CAT. And then after the first term, I realized, look, I'm quite bored here. I need something challenging. So I went on to take accounting in the middle of the year. Everyone's like, you must be mad. You're going to flunk this thing. And I love that because I do love when I have to take responsibility for something. Responsibility is one of my biggest strengths. So I took responsibility for learning accounting and got really good at it. Went to University of Pretoria, studied finance. And now I do my own business because what I learned, obviously I have a few contracts of employment, but I take more pride in my own thing than what has been given to me on a time devotion contract. But I do love my business.
Deep. I think you'd be a good prisoner though.
A good prisoner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it.
The way he talks, bro, like I could listen to you talk, bro.
With
like
the ring on the pinky finger.
And prisoners when they talk, like it's like, once you get the tal, I feel like you've already got the characteristics
he's
of
a cold caller
like,
as well.
Yeah,
that's how
that's how
he's
I
very. I remember the first time when he called me off of like his other number that he uses to cold call. I answered the phone. I'm like, who the fuck am I speaking to? Voice was all smooth. He added some reverb to it, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? I nearly gave him. Had he came to you with a business opportunity, I would have like given him my money already. But like, he's very good at like talking and convincing people, very smooth.
But at least he put it into good use. You see,
I did
put it into crime and stuff.
So my mom would always be like, "Oh, you're such a chatterbox, And the older I got, she was like, there's something about you. I think you must open a church or you must be like a radio host because when you talk, people are listening. Because even her herself, she was like, she would genuinely be like coming to me just to get my input on matters from a young age. Like this is like I'm 12.
She come to ask you for advice.
You get me? I'm 12 speaking about so I think this auntie so forth. But just break it down. See people doing like. But you know what you can do? Say this and let's see if they do this, then you do that, and everything came out to be true. But I just had really deep eyes from a young age, and it was a good way to live.
Interesting. But what would you call yourself? Like as in like, are you a business? What business? What would you call yourself if you want us to call you something? So you want us to say, wait, what's your name again? MPHATSO. Your Steve. Your nickname.
Oh yeah, I actually do. So most of my clients are international clients. Well, the foundation of all the skill I have in business development. That's what I am. I'm a business developer. I help businesses grow.
Okay.
Once again, everybody's looking for gold. I'm selling shovels. I sell businesses clients. I get you clients.
Okay.
I genuinely talk to people. I convince them. I convince them to give you a chance. I really do. And that's what I sell to businesses.
But what's your entertainment like? Tell me about your entertainment when you are just chilling, Jay, and like it's away, it's the accounting and what we put it aside, the business, everything. It's just
Great
you.
question.
What do you do?
I think it's sports.
Okay.
Outside of business, it's sports.
Okay, what sports? Soccer?
Yeah, all sports.
South African soccer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the hard-hitting question. Yeah. What's your club?
My club?
Yeah.
I'm a Pirates fan because of Gaba. For Gaba, I have the shirt. He gave it to me. So ever since then,
when did you get his shirt?
In 2021, it was the World Cup qualifier between Malawi and some country. I think it was here in Southern Africa.
Botswana.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Botswana, but
Botswana.
Southern
Namibia. No.
Something like that. Namibia,
Okay.
maybe Zambia, maybe Zimbabwe.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever
When
it is.
again against Cote d'Ivoire, they gave it to us, bro. But after that match, so I'm very well connected to Malawian house, and I just asked for the tickets, VVIP tickets. I had them, and I went to the locker room, went to Gaba. I'm like, hey, don't you give me a shirt? Yeah, give me a shirt. 2 of them, right? The international one and this club one, right?
For home and away games.
Yeah, right. Orlando Pirates number 7.
And the feeling at that moment.
Yeah, you know, it was so ever since then I was a Pirates fan.
Yeah. But how did you feel like at that moment? Not me doing this, like, but like, how did you feel? You know, like at that moment, like, do you remember how it felt?
I just felt so welcomed by the club.
Okay.
Orlando Pirates is a really big club. It's a genuine club.
Are they doing well though?
Yeah.
Right now?
Right
I don't
now,
know. I don't know.
Every cup here in South Africa is won by Orlando Pirates. It's because of the coach, Plummer. He's a very hardworking man. I love
that
his
white man.
ideology. He's Indian.
Oh, okay. There was a white coach though for Orlando Pirates at some point, right?
Speaking of white people,
Guys are clients.
Speaking of white people.
okay, it's fine. Speaking of white people, Miss SA ended up getting taken by a white person, right? So when the whole thing was happening of how they discovered what Twitter, were you in touch with all of that drama happening
We
then?
actually had a conversation.
Yeah, we chopped this out. It was actually no debate between me and her, and in my home it was like a rage. It was a storm.
So what was the debates though?
So obviously there's no problem with Miss SA being a white woman because we've had a white woman being Miss SA.
Yeah.
I think it's just the moment, that very moment, and
that she became a white woman.
I feel like the only... Okay, you finish what you have to say because I also have another opinion on it.
Because of what happened just a couple of days before, what was that?
Adechina's.
Yeah, it's Chidima.
Chidima. Adechina's her last name, yeah.
And because of that, then there was this concept of an ideal Miss SA. So I feel like after that there was a very high bar set. There was a lot of expectation. So once Miss SA came out to be the winner that it was one of those that they'd be like, okay, well, I mean, compared to the standard and the scrutiny that was in the competition, you'd expect something different. But by the way, Chidima is now Miss Universe Nigeria. Something interesting.
She won by default.
There was no way she was going to join in.
But
the thing is, here's my chat, right? And I feel like we both agreed on this when we were busy talking about it. SA, to some extent, has become so multicultural, so multinational that it's also now an issue where people feel like if you are not a South African citizen, no matter where you come from, you know, there's going to be that animosity. And I wouldn't say it's, you know, xenophobia. It's more so Afrophobia because we don't do this to the Europeans. We don't do this to anybody else, right? Let's just be real about it. We'll always have some sort of issues with people coming into our country and, you know, just like all these other African countries that have been colonized. But then my chat with Chidima, I'll give a fuck, no offense, if she was, you know, born from another country, whatever. My thing is, when you think of the Miss SA title, right? Miss SA is somebody who's going to travel around the world, you know, advocate for the issues that are happening in South Africa. Things that, you know, low unemployment rate, all these different service delivery issues, what, all the 9 years that we're struggling with in South Africa. So having somebody represent South Africa as Miss SA, I feel like if she was able to qualify for Miss SA, that means she has a South African passport. For example, maybe she was born and raised here in South Africa. We can't take away that from her. For example...
But I think they said it was Mkokotel.
But that's the thing that I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So now, for example, Stavo, correct me if I'm wrong. He you weren't born in South Africa, right?
No, I wasn't.
When did you move to South Africa?
I moved here in 2009.
How old are you?
I was 7.
Somebody who was 7 years old and moved to South Africa, you've lived in South Africa until like right now. We can't really take away the fact that most of his upbringing and the life and the products, it was South Africa, right?
Yeah.
It would have been different if you moved to South Africa when you were 16 and then all of a sudden running for Mr. SA, right? So I didn't have a problem if she wants to go on social media, because there's also a chat about like, Chidima Dechina on her social media, she's busy, representing whatever. Fine. It wouldn't have been an issue if she was Zulu and she was doing the same thing. It would have been an issue if she was Xhosa, she was doing the same thing. She's Nigerian. For all intents and purposes, she was born and raised in South Africa. South Africa, all of a sudden, we have an issue with Nigerians, right? There's a culture, there's a whole whatever that's happening. So already like alarm bells were going off of people's head, which, I mean, naturally people always have like some sort of animosity towards that. It's a natural thing. Although it's bad,
It is
so
what
now,
it is.
You have somebody by the name of Chidima Adechina. She's running for Miss SA. She got in. She's now doing crown chases and all of that stuff. So now people were feeling like, how can somebody who's Nigerian descent, which I felt like was the wrong argument, how is somebody who is Nigerian, born in Nigeria, South Africa, whatever, and now she wants to come and represent Miss SA? That's not fair, because if she was born and raised in SA, all she knows technically is South Africa. So if she won the crown and she went around the world and she was advocating for what Miss SA is, like, the issues in South Africa, that would be fine. That's what every Miss SA, winner has done. But people kept on digging, and you know how Twitter is. Twitter's not going to let this go. South Africa's not going to let this go, because we have a lot of pride, a lot of nationalism, right? So it put us in a bad situation. It made us look bad because of the way we were busy, like, firing shots at Adechina and like making her seem like, she's not welcome in South Africa. And the argument ended up being like, nobody who was born outside of South Africa, nobody who's a different nationality outside of South Africa is welcome in South Africa, which is wrong, because that's not the truth, right? And unfortunately, it was a byproduct, right, of the whole situation. People were not happy. They were writing to the, Miss SA, writing to Department of Sports and Sports and Culture, and they started digging. And then it was an unfortunate circumstance that after they dug up and they found that, her mom's ID may not be, maybe fraudulent, maybe it was a stolen identity. That essentially is what I feel like, because she was trailblazing, she was still going to keep going with the dream, regardless of what SA was doing. And I was like, you keep going, girl. But now it's like her mom's, this whole thing on the internet, people asking questions, people digging at her, people trying to figure out who she is and all of that stuff. The same thing that happened to Thabo Bester, right? The internet kept going and eventually got found. But now it's like, it was unfortunate to a point where she got so much scrutiny in SA, and on top of that, her mom's identity was sort of fraudulent, and she became a product of this whole thing. So now it just looked bad on all fronts, which eventually she had to step down. I mean, at the end of the day, that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry. All the best. But then she went to Miss SA Nigeria, Miss Universe Nigeria. And truth be told, when you look at the competition in comparison to Miss SA, I'm not trying to say anything.
No, you're speaking our minds.
I'm not trying to say anything, but it's like, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not trying to say anything, but in comparison to Miss SA, I feel like if she went and she already said that she's going to do it,
prize money was 5,600.
What was she going to, what was going to happen? She already came with so much drama and attention, so people were already watching, and then she go to Miss Universe Nigeria. You look at the whole pageant in comparison to what she was running up for, and I was like, damn.
Yeah,
she won the crown, but like...
Yeah, no, we know those girls who...
Now what?
They got snubbed by her,
and that's also another thing, because
but I feel like it's more... It's not even just about her, right? I feel like that Miss What, those people who run that Miss What, they saw this person has controversy behind them, more eyes on the show. So if we make her win, it's like even more people who are gonna...
I'm glad that she did it, because she trailblazed, because I don't want people to feel like any other South African, even if you are not Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Ndebele, Venda, whatever, if you're not a culture of South Africa, but if you were born and raised in South Africa, you have South African citizenship, you are qualified, you do qualify to enter Miss SA, by all means do it. Because no one can take away the fact that, you are South African, just like how somebody who was My parents were born and raised in Lesotho.
Just a quick comment. The same premise of Chidima not being excluded from SSA.
Yeah.
If we were to apply that same premise on Barack Obama's presidential campaign, he wouldn't be the president of America. Just for consistency, right?
Okay, yeah, I hear what I sort of hear what you're trying to say.
To a certain extent, yeah. But then that would mean Baraka would have to go back to Kenya and then he'd be president there.
Of course he would.
That would do him,
without a shadow of a doubt. There's many African politicians that just go to America and they slander there, they come to Africa, shining stars.
But the thing is, it's like, if you look at Barack is such a success story. He's probably like he's the only technically black president that has ever been. So it was historical, especially in the American context. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if Chidima ran Miss SA, she was a finalist and eventually she won the crown, because even finalists, I don't know how much that would have been plausible, but the fact that she would have made it to the finalists and she did the pageant in front of everyone, that would have been like an achievement on its own. I'm really happy that she was able to represent such, like, I wouldn't say a small crowd, but such a distinct identity within South Africa. That's what I'm happy for her to do, and I think like that was something that was lost, especially in the whole heat of like, who is she? Why is she trying to run for? Like, I'm like, guys, the fact that she got there, she qualified. Let's hear what she has to say. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to vote. Even if you don't vote for her, that's your choice. You can vote for whoever else you want to vote for. But now, when you go back on the internet and like, because this was now, it sort of turned into an international type of story. People were catching the story from all over the world. And it kind of made us look bad. Right, because it's like, how are you going to let, you're going to drive Chidima out of this whole controversy, like out of Miss SA, but then let a white person win? And that kind of also made us look contradictory on our side.
No, but there it was a whole thing. I feel like it was propaganda there, because there's no measurement. Please shake the mouse. Ooh, it's up there, yeah. Thank you. But like the comparison is not there, because the thing was not about her race. You feel?
It wasn't about her race.
But people using it's like they were doing that thing of, you also don't like these people, but why don't you treat these people like that, even though you also don't like them? But yeah, it goes back to your thing of, if you are born and raised in South Africa, it doesn't matter your race. You're still South African. You feel? So we're not even born, but raised.
I also feel like it's the same story, like regardless of the situation, because people come to South Africa to earn money. They do, even though their parents are not from here. I would feel some type of way. She was like, they moved and say, I'm South Africa, whatever. If you don't have the documents to prove it, that's fine. But then if you're like born and raised here, even if you're a different nationality, I can't tell you that you're not South African, because at the end of the day, does it mean to be South African doesn't mean you have to have an SA ID, or does it mean you need to understand what it's like to live here?
It's a culture thing, man.
It's a
being
culture
South African is a culture thing. It's not
no DNA.
It's
not. At the end of the day, if you look globally, there's just like a rising sense of nationalism.
Yeah,
everybody's just like trying to protect their own resources, because like there's people coming from outside all these different countries.
Like, it's been a trend of NBA stars, they get to the league and then they marry white women. Then it was a whole controversy that instead of investing the money into your black communities, now you're sharing it to the white people.
But like, I feel but it's the same thing. Like, imagine, like, it's happened one too many times where like a guy will get big on the sports stage and then all of a sudden he marries a white woman. Like, love is love. Whoever you want to marry whoever you want to marry. But then some people are also going to look at you like, damn, why did you not date? But I also feel like it's the same everywhere. Because I would probably get that type of question, like, if I dated a white man or somebody of a different race than me. Like, did you not like black guys? Did you not like, that's also going to be the question that comes around, and I'm like,
so
what the hell?
Have you been racist, or?
I've never been. I've been with every single race.
Yeah.
Except for. I've actually been with every single race, but I've probably only dated like black guys. I've only probably ever dated like black guys. I've never.
Okay, so in terms of romance,
it looks like it's still going. Yeah.
What is who's better at romance?
white or black guys or Indian. I mean, Indian guys are more so the.
I feel like
colored.
Sometimes the question about interracial dating also stems from the fact, like, can this person really identify with the culture and the nuances of your race? For example, a white person will probably go through different experiences being white compared to a black person.
Especially in South Africa.
Especially, like, for example, applying for loans, everyday things, applying for loans, meeting people, all of these different types of things. So there would be there's different nuances involved. So it would be a case of, like, it's fine dating other people of other races. I mean, what the hell are they, what are other people going to do about it at this point, right? But romance, is there, like, there's a different type of romance a white guy would bring compared to a black guy, because maybe there's a different, black on black, they understand. Whereas, like, a white and, like, he would probably have to, like, it's maybe it's a cultural thing. So I feel like if they're willing, you see, so, like, if they're willing to, like, learn and embrace the culture, then it's not really a problem, even if you come from a different side. You know? Whatever's romantic to me that a black guy could do could be romantic to what a white guy does. Maybe it's just two different types of romance involved.
No, but people we adapt easily when we love something. So that's the thing.
Would you date or marry a white guy?
A white guy?
A white
no,
girl,
I
sorry.
wouldn't.
A white girl, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, a white girl. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Dr. Uma would be so pissed at me.
Call you.
Yeah, I can't.
Mom said that straight. She's like, MPHATSO, white women have this thing where they only target successful black men. So she was telling me that
watch out. Watch out. They
Yeah,
sweet, this no bunny.
but, like, to
They
be
sweet.
Better her name is Ogechi rather than you get like
Get an African sister, bro.
yeah, like
So you'd first go for African before you consider looking at other races.
I mean, it's not. I don't think anyone thinks like that. You probably
Yeah.
who you fall in love
But
with
to be,
first, but
like,
you also have to be wary. That's why it's also the people you're around. I mean, I don't find myself around a lot of white people.
Well, not white people
or,
aren't really at the places that we hang out around.
So
Right. They have their own
I'm
places
bound
that
to love African sisters more than.
Oh. As black women sometimes, it's crazy because, like,
I just want to experience
Yeah.
that Arabic.
back again with this thing.
Okay.
Back again.
That North African, Middle East
You get
type
me.
of
Something Ethiopia. Something
like-
Syria.
Listen.
Okay.
Can I call you out?
Exotic.
Can I
Why
call
are
you
you
out?
calling me out?
Call him out. No, call him out. Call him out. We have cell phones in this
No,
building. Call
guys,
him out.
no.
Call him out.
Please be gentle.
Call him out.
Be gentle.
I'm gonna be gentle, right?
Okay.
I'm probably gonna mention two major things
Yeah.
that I would like to call you out on.
Okay.
Number one, right? We had a friend of ours from the neighborhood. I've known him personally maybe for like max a year.
Okay.
This guy met very beautiful Islamic woman, eventually, you know how the Muslim culture goes along. He got married, eventually he's living his life.
Yeah.
So he feels like he's a man of virtue. He likes that ideal, typical lifestyle.
I love it.
And it got to a point where he's like, he's proud, he's really feeling it. Then all of a sudden he's talking about, like, the Arabic culture, there's lots of poetry. And I'm like, okay, you're maybe feeling this whole thing. You're feeling this thing. Like, you feel like, you are inspired, you are mesmerized, you have a lot of respect for that type of thing.
I do.
Couple weeks go by, all of a sudden homeboy's busy talking about, like, I need to have a child, I need to have a son. I'm like,
I do need a
wait
child, I need a
a
child.
damn
Hopefully last
minute.
night I made one. But
I think, like, he's
I'm playing.
I feel like this idea of you, like, maybe Uzbekistan, Arabic type of, like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're inspired, but, like,
Yeah.
do you feel like you would have the type of discipline,
The culture,
the
the cultural
discipline?
shift.
Because remember, it's not
What
like,
do you mean discipline?
remember our
Yeah,
friend-
that culture comes with a lot
remember
of
our friend, the one that I'm
discipline.
telling you about.
Yeah.
There's just, it's a different type of.
It's
It's a very demanding.
I
It
was-
needs to have a certain type of
I
responsibility.
was talking to a Muslim lady. She was passing me by the store. She was wearing headsets. I stop her. I'm like, aren't you all not supposed to listen to music? She says to me, no, we can listen to music, but at certain times of the day. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And already, like,
You must know ukuthi That's crazy.
I don't want to get the facts wrong, but there was another Middle Eastern country, the one that's run by like, I guess I wouldn't say it's like
the one's ran by the prince.
Not the prince. It's the story basically goes how this
Saudi. No.
Yeah, there was this like there's this they put in this new. It's basically like a I don't want to say altruistic, but it's like more so. I don't know the right word for it. So I'm using the word, but it's like
United Arab Emirates.
No. It's a Middle Eastern country, okay. Islamic. They very much Islamic is basically the authoritative rule. They basically like an authoritative rule. Sorry, and they basically passed this law that women are not allowed to speak. They can't speak in public places. They can't do. I think it made like the rounds on Twitter. It also made the news.
Qatar, is it?
I don't think it was Qatar. Qatar, I think, is a little bit more forward thinking. But like it was one of those. I can't remember the place. I'll have to do a fact check, or you can do a fact check later. But like,
it's fine. It's a podcast. We don't fact check.
Do you mean like? But do you get? Do you understand like the Islamic religion, the Islamic culture is very rooted in like the religion and vice versa. What's written in the text, what's written in the Quran must also manifest in real life. They're very passionate religion, very passionate culture, very like they, very devout to their faith, to the point where it's like sometimes there's certain things about freedom of movement, freedom of oneself, freedom of expression that gets lost in that thing. So my question to you is, seeing that this is sort of what you want, this is sort of like the sort of idea, even if it's just right now, do you think Islamic ladies knocking on the door saying like, hey, we're getting married in the next 2 days, what are you saying? I'm going to say yes.
Me?
Yeah.
A random lady comes up to me, asks me.
Now, even if they say like, I like you, whatever, you've maybe met a year, you guys have been together for a year. Use the same example as our friend that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
same example, they've met for a year.
Yeah, and then she comes to me,
but then there's like, would you be willing to go through like the commitment, because the stuff that he probably didn't even tell us about, there's other things that go on behind the scenes. There's lots of different things that
he had to pay a dowry, he
had to go through certain different he also had to earn a lot of respect from the girl's family, right? And I mean, it's not like that 350,000 lovola in that land type of situation. There's a type of like, so there's a way of life that you need to show.
You need to take out an insurance policy for your wife. That in the event you do something reckless, she has a whole lump sum of all this money that has been growing and accumulating.
Damn straight.
And if you do something reckless, then she has all access to it.
How much did you put in?
Well, I mean, how much did I put in?
How much did you put in?
Me personally,
and what
my
do you think
dowry price, I'm willing to put down 400 racks.
400 racks? You have that 400 racks to put on a dowry price? Okay, stop. You're putting in the money into the investment account. What do you think would be a pretty good like investment rate? Should you fuck up?
Wait.
He's a finance guy.
You have 400 racks.
400 racks now?
Yeah.
Right now? No, I don't.
How long would it take to get 400 racks?
Okay.
Next year. This time next year.
This year I've passed by 400.
I mean, guys, we can't sit around people with 400 racks and we don't have 400 racks. We must also get 400 racks and then we don't have 400 racks.
No, because guys, what I do is what I do.
You must have 200, 100, fine.
Yeah.
No, but guys, like...
Or 350, 50, well, fine.
I have to commit a lot of time. It's very painful making this money.
Let us also go pay some dowry.
The dowry is pricey. Dowry, yeah. But guys, I'm genuinely willing to pay 400k for my bride.
Is that just in lobola or including the whole cost of wedding,
no,
and all that?
The whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm a man of virtue, right? So I'm a very cultural man, right? Deeply rooted in what I believe is right. And so let me tell you about my parents' wedding. They were in Malawi, like quote unquote the plush side.
Oh, yeah.
So on their wedding, they emphasized consistency in dress code. So they bought fabric, like different fabrics, from cotton to silk of the same color of the weddings. And and everybody that was invited to the wedding could go to a tailor and get their outfit custom made. So that wedding,
was this on your parents' time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was their wedding, right? And I would practice that. I would repeat that because that is what I grew up on. You know, heritage, as we're saying. So the dowry price set aside, 400,000. I mean, that's because honestly, I love rich girls.
What do you think 400,000 would get you? What would you be? How would you be willing to pay 400,000?
How would I?
What at like what point would you say, nah, she's worth 400,000?
Oh, her father must be a fund manager at Citibank. And she must have 4.0 GPA, 0 waste.
It comes with a catch.
Yeah, guys, this is a dowry. You know, this is.
So
this
your
is
ideal wife, if you had to look at her, she checks at least 90% of the boxes, right? You know, you would put down that 400 racks.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
Without a shadow of a
I
doubt.
hope you guys are listening.
I mean,
you guys are listening.
I can't try to lie to you. Like, it's the truth. I'll genuinely do that.
If your dad manages a fund at Citibank, oh, he's lying.
Speak to me.
I don't know. I think dowries.
We'll work this out. You know.
Dowries should have a receipt just in case.
Of what?
Refunds.
Then what the hell is the investment?
I need my 400,000 back if things don't turn out. People change. People change every day, guys. People change every day.
Don't change. They get better at hiding who they are.
Have you heard those stories about the women that apparently are paying their own lobolas?
Okay, I'd love that.
Me personally, you wouldn't catch me.
Shut up.
I don't think my dad would even let me pay for my own dowry.
Listen, guys. The reason why it's like this is because women are under a lot of pressure now, and it's quite pressing. Especially those relationships. They don't like when a guy is in a relationship with them for more than 3 years and you don't marry him. She really does not like that, especially in the third year, and she's gonna irritate you about that. So most of the time, it's just that thing of, you know, let me just do this because you know there's critiques.
This,
In most of the time, I do understand where that comes from, but then guys, what's the point of women empowerment if women are not empowered to make such choices? So, big ups to anybody that commits that.
One story that always stays in the back of my mind, or that always like rings throughout me, is that I don't know, maybe it was because of, you know, maybe she was able to do it because of who she is, but do you know that I think it was the princess of Saudi Arabia. She got married to some billionaire entrepreneur, oil money. He's also holds things in office in government. So they have a baby together, and apparently this guy has just been like going behind her back and sleeping with other people. Whatever.
Another guy.
This woman goes on Instagram, right, and she posts like a little photo. And he probably got married about 2-3 years ago, and they welcomed a daughter. She's a couple months older. She could be turning 1 soon. Correct me if I'm wrong. She goes on Instagram, and you know that there's a culture in Arabic that, you know, if you publicly state or if you publicly say things 3 times, it's like done. So she went on Instagram and she basically divorced her husband, and she said it 3 times and she divorced him. She doesn't need to do anything else. Basically, she divorced him off of an Instagram post. She's like, since you're so busy, whatever, gallivanting with, you know, lovers, I divorce you. It's just her and her daughter. So now, I haven't heard from that guy since, right? But I like that kind of power. Because it's a case of like, you need to have that investment fund, you need to have all the things. Because then, women are out here paying for dowries. And then men get away, they feel superpowers, they feel like, I have nothing to lose. Never underestimate a man who has nothing to lose, because he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. I need to see that investment at a good return, which is why I asked, how much would you be willing to invest? At what investment rate before she starts saying, I divorce you? Should something go wrong?
Investment rate being how much?
Yeah, like how much would you hope to get?
To get back?
Not get back. Like, I mean, you're putting money into a fund.
Yeah.
It's going to accumulate over the years that you're married.
Yeah.
And should you fuck up, God forbid, how much are you hoping is going to come out of that account?
That entirely depends.
Or is she the one managing the account?
Well, I mean, when it comes to such
if she has to manage the fund, obviously you can demand a higher return because you're not working with. There's a lot of dilution in the finance industry, especially when you're talking about these equity claims and capital contributions. So the norm is you can get 7% per year.
Okay.
That's with Alan Gray, Standard Bank, big boys, honorable
that are offering
people.
nice returns for what you put in, yeah.
But I mean, it's not a nice return, but it's consistent, it's reliable.
I mean, over a period of time, it's definitely going to stack up.
But there's opportunity cost to that. There's if even that 400,000, if you were to accumulate it at 7%, which is very easy, 7%, if you were to do that 10 times, then you can achieve 10 years of growth in 1 year, maybe even a month, depending on your appetite of managing that account. And a competitive fund like Fed Group, maybe a different portfolio in Alan Gray, Invest Tech, they'll give you 11%. So when putting down these amounts, it depends how much responsibility you're trying to take as a person for that money. So if you were to put it in, let's say, a managed account, like of somebody who's an active financial speculator, you can demand from that 400,000, you can demand 2 million very easily. So in 2-3 years.
Okay, that's all my question. Wow, how did this happen? No DNA.
No, guys, the sun. The sun.
And those are the sunglasses you could buy.
The sun, yeah.
Did you watch the game yesterday?
Nearest one. No, I didn't. But yesterday, I was wondering, why is everyone walking around with rugby T-shirts? Like, what's happening?
You didn't know?
Yeah, then they told me at the store that, But I didn't watch it.
The liquor stores were what?
Packed with everyone in Springbok shirts.
Wait, what were they playing with?
New Zealand.
Second time. CPT.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. Did we win?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out. We're always winning these days.
Best in the world.
Yeah.
Best in the motherfucking world.
Yeah, no, shout out. And then Olympics, are they still running?
Paralympics are running.
Oh, we have...
By the way, we have 100-meter gold medal. Sir, congratulations.
Yeah, when I hear Paralympics, there's a slogan that my dad said that his granddad told him, right? Is that if you ever want to join the Paralympics, you should buy a motorbike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So...
Sure.
Damn.
Look, guys, you know the thing about African figures of speech? African problems. Yo, dude.
When you think about it, though,
not only will they humble
it's
you,
real.
they make you think.
It's real. Like, how many people...
You break a plate, that's how you break another one.
Pride, you know not to break another one, Pride. You gotta hold them delicately. Bro. Like, it's crazy. I remember there was a time we broke one of my grandma's plates. And we're trying to figure out who's gonna take the blame because it was a big deal breaking a plate. It was like,
it was like,
it was like coming home late, you know, like, it was crazy. But
they made us go through a lot for a broken plate, for a broken anything. Like, you felt like you were waiting trial, you were waiting sentencing, bro.
Under critique, under ridicule, judgment, rigorous judgment.
I think my parents had like glasses, like really nice glasses, and like over time I always used to get blamed. I think I broke like maybe 2 because I'm naturally clumsy, and then people kept breaking them, and then I always used to get the blame for them. Like, people would wash the dishes and like break them or whatever, and then I always used to get the blame for them. So now, like, I'm apparently known as a person who breaks dishes in the house. And they made me buy new ones, and I'm like, I can't buy new ones if I only broke 2. Somebody else needs to pitch in. So like, now you're the only one working, pay for the glasses. I haven't bought those glasses yet.
Cinci,
what do you mean?
Cinci, do you fight at home? Like,
no, like physically.
Yeah.
No. I liked it now.
You throw back words.
I wouldn't say I throw back words either. I mean, as the firstborn daughter, like, there's only really one boss in the house, right?
Who's the boss?
I'll let you take a guess.
Your mom.
Sometimes.
You the boss.
You the boss.
Yeah.
JK.
Not even like not even like that. It's just like there's the boss. Well, I would say parents call the shots.
Yeah.
All the siblings just make sure like it needs to happen. So sometimes they would call the shots and be like,
shots,
"Who are you?"
The siblings shoot.
Exactly. So I'm like, who are like? So now they're calling shots. So I'm also like the person. I'm like, you're calling these shots. How do you think that's gonna work out? Because if you're asking me, or you're expecting me to do X, Y, and Z, I feel like we need to sit down and like see how we can meet each other halfway. Because I'm the only person in my in the household who's technically an older sibling. Both my parents are the youngest of a couple of siblings. My dad's the youngest of 9. I think my mom's the youngest of 6. My brother's the youngest out of the both of us. So youngest siblings, you know what
You
that's
can't
like.
say that you're the oldest daughter if there's only 2 of you. It's not fair. There's no competition.
To who?
It's only between you and your brother.
Who's trying to compete with me?
No, what are you saying? Okay. What is she supposed to say? What's the PC
Okay, yes,
term?
your firstborn daughter. Nothing, not to take anything from that. But in terms of
like how
Should I
she
just say I'm
says
the
it,
oldest?
like oldest.
okay,
What
yeah.
must she say?
Firstborn. Obviously, firstborn rules the house.
But there's a
in
difference.
reality.
I feel like firstborn sons and firstborn daughters, although sometimes we share the same sentiments, it's a very different type of upbringing.
But okay,
In terms of like
just to qualify, I think
you're the
you
oldest
can-
son.
no,
You see?
What number are you?
I'm number 2.
Damn.
How
You're the middle
many
child.
are you?
Yeah, but my pockets are the deepest, so they love me the most.
You
I'm also the middle child, like him.
and I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I was the last born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long were you the last one for?
For about 18 years before my sister was born.
Yes. That's a whole life. It's a whole
It must have been
lifetime.
weird for you to be like, damn, an older brother now.
Yeah, it kind of was, but like, I mean, she's growing so fast. It's like, it's crazy.
How old is
but
she now?
she was born, she's a COVID baby. So whatever year it is now.
Pandemic baby.
Yeah, whatever year it is now.
It's 2024.
Yeah, she's
when
turning
during
4
COVID?
later
2020.
on December.
Interesting.
2020.
You see the
Yeah,
impacts of
2020.
COVID.
Yeah,
So the impacts of COVID on the population are magnanimous. Mighty.
crazy. Yeah.
It was good. People had the chance, because there's a lot of, unfortunately, women are very busy, and even if they do take the maternity leave, they are still at risk of
Losing
the
their
endurance
jobs.
of their contract. So COVID gave them that platform, and South Korea is in a population decline.
So is Japan.
Yeah, so now they're implementing these policies that now you're allowed to have a 4-day work week, so that you're committed to.
They even start giving people like tax breaks. They're trying to give the
Yeah.
people back money so that they can have babies.
Yeah, like if you have a
But-
child, now you pay like half the tax that you should pay.
But also remember, in South Korea, there's this thing called the 4B movement.
What's that?
It's basically where women are like just like saying, fuck it, we're done with men. They don't want to date men. They're not getting married. They're not doing anything. They've just left men alone. That sort of just basically comes from the culture. They have a very crazy rape culture, because lack for a better word, sexual assault is on the right. Yeah. It's like a whole thing. Like women are like actually taking a stand and joining the 4B movement, where they refuse to date men. They don't want to get married. They don't want to, because of how men treat them, both in marriages, outside, just as a regular ass woman. The stuff that happened to them, they just said, I don't want anything to do with men. And that's also contribute, like the whole society and like the whole culture and the economy of South Korea is changing because of this thing. So governments, not even only, also in Europe, there's lots of these like fourth world countries where people are just like not having children. And it's also a case of like houses are expensive, housing is expensive, living, like just being able to provide for yourself is a lot already. And now having, a partner, having children is just so taxing on people that they
But
just...
guys, everybody's gonna be rich. They're printing money. Governments are printing money over time.
No, but that doesn't mean
That's how we
everyone's
get
gonna
100
be rich.
million Zim dollars, bro. That's
Thank
how
you. I was
exactly how it
literally
happened.
about to
No,
go
but that was
there.
printing
now.
too fast. But over time, even if you look at South Africa now you
Scammer
it's-
vibes, I'm getting scammer
No.
vibes.
Guys,
Like
you-
you
I'm
sound
on
like
the
that
brink,
friend.
I'm on the brink.
You sound like
These
that
guys.
friend who wants us to rob a bank right now. You're like, listen, if we can print more money,
But
we
Nigeria,
can.
because remember, think about it.
Yeah.
The US, right, they have a currency that isn't backed by anything, right?
No,
Gold.
It's backed by the dollar.
The
Gold.
dollar's backed by the dollar. So if
The dollar is backed by US Treasury bills. Actually, no. I'll tell you, this is something I learned so interesting. It's from one of my clients. He's a real estate broker selling restaurants. In America, if you don't pay your property tax, they repossess the house. Government repossesses the house. So if you read through that cycle, if you don't pay the tax on your house, they take away your house. So that means the government, the economy is backed by the houses. So that's
what happened in 2008.
2008, 2009, mostly real estate, because everybody is bets big. The entire American economy is bet on that
property
that law that if you don't pay your property tax, they will take away your house.
But isn't that
even if you have paid your tax? No, if you don't pay your taxes at all, they take away your house even.
But isn't that in a broader sense also meaning like America is also backed more by assets? Because think about it, the rand is backed by gold. So if you need to print more money, technically you need to have more gold to account for the value of money that you're printing. The US, every single country is forced to buy the dollar because that's technically how
it's most the mode of exchange.
So I feel like the dollar in itself is a very powerful currency, but in actuality, when you look at what is basically like, how do you determine the value of a dollar? How much can I say if I want to buy $100,000 from you? How much would that be in, like, you know,
price is what you pay, value is what you get.
Exactly.
So it depends who you're talking to.
So remember, if I want to buy rands, for example, maybe I don't have any other currency, but maybe I have gold. I can go and exchange gold for rands. Typically, also in the US, you know, you go and give gold and you can get money. But in a broader sense, in terms of like world trade and world economy, if nobody's buying the dollar, what is the dollar worth? Because because that's what's happened now in China. That was a big thing. China moved away from the Chinese dollar. They no longer buy dollars. So if you want to buy anything from China, you have to buy the Chinese yuan to actually buy stuff from China, right? And whatever that change in currency would be.
I love how this monetary conversation is becoming more realistic.
So now it's like also the same thing that, remember that BRICS summit that was also causing a whole bunch of like issue, because that's exactly what all the BRICS countries are trying to do, because they've gone to a point of say, fuck America, rightly so, because in a broader sense, they sort of like screwed up quite a bit. You wouldn't have a lot if it wasn't for America, yes. But in a sense, America has a terrible bedside manner. Horrible neighbors. They're not the best. They are, because of America's, I study history and the cold is my favorite subject, but because of America's foreign policy, they have gotten themselves into situations, into wars that have nothing to do with them, right?
Because that's the responsibility.
But I mean,
yeah. But remember, hear about
that is true. That is true. No, Big Brother is to step in.
But hear me out. America's foreign policy, right? It basically states that as America, if we believe that there is a country that in a way if America has something to gain from that country, for example, South Africa, maybe they get gold, they get diamonds from us, sure. If, let's say, there was a communist threat towards South Africa is a democratic, America's foreign policy then says that we as America will offer and do anything we can to basically save this country or save our interests from communist threat, right? So in that sense, America will not go themselves. They rarely ever do this. They won't go, you know, US troops into another country because that can also be considered an act of war. But what they'll do, say, for example, EFF and ANC. Let's say EFF is trying to collude the majority party, they're running the country, and they start to impose communist influences within South Africa. There's communist ideals that are coming in. And America's starting to see like, this is not going to work out for us because now we're not going to be able to get gold or diamonds the way we used to. Right? Every country has the right to protect their own interest. What they will do, which is similar to what other countries will do, is they'll start giving money to the ANC and they'll bring troops down to train the ANC, let's say, Mkhonto type of vibe.
Do you remember there was that in 2013, 14? What are those Nigerian
ISIS,
Boko Haram, right? A similar situation. That what is the
where they store all of those
what is the dollar backed by, right? What is the rand backed by? Because in that situation,
the whole African continent looked at South Africa like, hey, you have the biggest military. We expect you.
If we ever go to war, we're fucked. In Africa, Rwanda probably has the best army right now, skilled army.
But the Air Force, South African Air Force
is brilliant.
Yeah.
If you look at the pilots of Fly Emirates, they recruit mostly from South Africa. SA8, I'm glad it's coming back. But then nobody owns aircrafts in this economy. Like not even Boeing.
The thing is, it's like, hear me out. I also think about this more often. Like, if America didn't have the dollar, because right now, if I were to think about America's only really a really strong and dangerous nation because of the type of weapon and skills that they have.
I actually have a question. Actually, something has become questionable. When I trade forex, so because of my academic background, it's something I do a lot. And when measuring these correlations, you find that when gold prices go up, the rand doesn't necessarily go up. And you would expect that its value should go up if South Africa is holding that much gold reserve and it's really backed by gold. Why is the impact? I mean, gold is sitting at $25,000. No, $2,500 per ounce of gold. And the rand is, it has strengthened, but you'd expect a bigger move. And that questions the beta, the impact of how much dollars, how much gold is the rand backed by.
I feel like sometimes, although gold is valuable, but it's not really as valuable as a raw material, which is what South Africa will probably sell. We don't have like the technology or the skills in our country specifically to process and make the gold valuable. Because technically to you, gold is gold at the end of the day.
Cartier, you know Cartier? Cartier watches.
I always hear rappers
Isn't that guy
talking
Rupert?
about
Isn't he South African? The guy who
owns Cartier.
I was also like,
so
Johann Rupert.
Yeah, Rupert, who owns Cartier.
For real?
For real, he owns Cartier. I think he also a couple of.
He owns the company that controls Cartier.
That's crazy.
So indirect. So he's not taxed on that, by the way, because it's all dividend income. But
he also owns I think he also owns quite a few popular brands within South Africa.
He owns.
Doesn't he own Jungle Oats?
No. Well, what's that thing? Diamonds are forever.
Diamonds are forever. Drip is temporary. Diamonds are forever.
No, because South Africa is the biggest.
I don't know what
is the biggest supplier of diamonds, and they have an item listed on JSE.
Botswana.
Yeah, JSE and New York Stock Exchange. Guys, diamonds are forever. It's even on James Bond.
But also hear me out, right? I was also I found this out maybe 2-3 months ago. I didn't know Nigeria has a pretty big oil reserve.
No, I didn't know either. And actually, I was doing more research into it, and it's why Nigeria is so misty and dark. That's why it looks so badly. That's why it looks pollution. Yeah, because the oil and the air quality.
But there was a whole thing with Shell, wasn't there? A couple years back with Shell wanting to mine the oil, whatever they do to take it out from the ground, and it was causing people around the area to not live okay. What? There was a whole strike. They kicked them out.
The beers. Yeah, the beers, diamonds are forever.
Oh, okay.
Biggest gold diamond provider.
The De Beer family.
Yeah, but
yeah. No, but yeah.
I feel like the issue, but
Nigeria, oil.
Nigeria. For a country, because if you look at the UAE, the Middle East, they have vast oil
I was
reserves,
about to say that.
And they were able to use that oil.
And sell it so cheaply.
Because Nigeria, because I'm also thinking it's Nigeria, if they have a pretty decent oil reserve, that country they technically are contenders, probably one of the top 5 richest countries in SA, but they have the power to be so much more richer than what South Africa is.
You know what Nigeria need?
Yeah?
Nigeria need a king. They need a patriarchy there. Once they have that, then they'll have order, because what's killing a lot of African countries are these rebel groups that want the diamonds, want the gold, want this and that. You see, so if they could just get a king, I feel like a Nigerian king, and even though he's gonna get filthy rich, but it's a step in the right direction. But if you
hear me, think about it. Let's say Shah went and they did that thing. They did it now. The people who technically benefit from that oil being produced is never really the communities, also never really Nigeria. the government probably also get a portion of it, but they go into the top officials' pockets, and then the private company gets to keep the biggest share, and then Shell makes most of the money.
The miners are getting crumbs.
The miners are like there's, and that I feel like is the issue. There's no issue, me personally, if people want to come in, because it's an investment in the country at the end of the day. But now, if you look at the leadership of the country and how are they willing to get, because any normal country would say, like, if a private company like Shell is coming to South Africa or coming to their country to come and take their resources, it needs to benefit the people of that land more than anything, specifically the community first, and then throughout the land. But it's like people, they get a little bit of money, they want to put it. But I was saying, America's foreign policy, right? They don't go flags waving, USA into the country, start marching and shooting at the opposition or whatever. They start to put their money, because the US dollar is, it's quite a lucrative currency, even right now, even though, regardless of what's going on. They'll give you, let's say, when you run EFF or whatever, when you are at the top place, your communist ideals, whatever, sharp. Stavo, ANC, maybe he has like a militia group that he's busy like trying to target, and they've been maybe making a couple of waves here and there. America will see like, hey Stavo, you can't let this thing fly, boy. Here, we'll give you these trainers, we'll give you extra men to put on the ground, we'll train these people for maybe like the next 6 months, get them knowing how to use proper artillery guns, they'll start giving Stavo guns, they'll give him money, they'll give him information, they'll give him technology in order to overthrow you. Because now America doesn't care. At the end of the day, America doesn't care who's in power. They just need to make sure that whoever's in power is able to do whatever they want. Right? So now they put Stavo into power and they say, hey, Stavo, lucky now you're the president. We backed you. We backed your political campaign. Your country's free. South Africa's free. You guys are democratic. All that good stuff. Now they're going to say, hey, Stavo, we won't buy gold for this price. We helped you. Remember this. Give it to us for this. We want to be able to do this in your country. They'll, sidelines, just like how you wash money. I feel like politics is also in a way like how you wash.
I don't like politicians. All of them have to sell the treasury. Anybody that doesn't believe in privatization or capitalism, they essentially, to get their votes, you have to buy them with something. You have to promise them education. You have to promise them land. You have to promise them this.
But that's the game.
And where does that money come from? Right. The same thing we're talking about. What's the dollar back? But America doesn't have those policy that. I mean, yeah, sure, government schooling is there, but here in South Africa, in a lot of African countries, the currency, yeah, sure, it's backed by treasury bills and all of that. But then once again, all of these things are sold to provide things such as healthcare, education, and all of that, which actually is what the people want. And that money has to come from somewhere. So now you have to go to your reserves and take that money out and lose value on that. So with America, it's that thing of it's so established, and you can anticipate that they will not have a spontaneous change in law, because changes in law is very distasteful, especially if you're an investor and you allocate money. So when it comes to value, consistency is really important. So South Africa is one of those.
Consistency gives guarantee, surety. The
law environment, it changes every
the thing is, we are so like liberated, like we are always wanting to more freedom, but and then, these things.
And that's not a good premise to support currency.
In terms of business, but morally,
obviously, in business you have to balance, because you have to balance your business from the morals, right? And price is what you pay, value is what you get. But virtue is priceless, right? If you're a person, if you're a good person, it really doesn't matter, like if you have discipline, you have courage, you have justice, you fight for people, you're wise, you make good choices, and you always raise awareness of such conditions, then you're priceless, right? Because no matter where, there's the president of Salvador. Salvador was
the one who cleaned up the gangs, threw them
all in one place, bro.
Yeah, he's a Democrat.
But there is a price.
He's a Democrat, but he didn't have to sell the treasury for that. He didn't go to people like, hey, we're giving you this, that. Now he's like, we're gonna take this money, we're gonna use it, enforce
But you know, there's also a lot of innocent people who get caught up in that, and they just become a part of the system because of that.
Can I ask you a question, like an opinion, you guys? What do you guys know about the deep state? Have you heard of the the thing?
Yeah,
of
I've heard of the concept of the deep state. Yeah,
you know deep
concept.
State? Understand the concept of the deep state?
Yeah.
So
like
the deep state is basically like described. I'm going to use it because the way they explained it to me was like in American context. But basically, the deep state are people who aren't necessarily the people that don't hold like public office. They don't have an official public office title, but because of who they are, the networks that they have, or the type of power that they have, even though it's independent from government, they tend to sort of have a very big influence on how the decisions are made. So if you think about it this way, you could be a retired department, a retired minister of finance, maybe used to work for the CIA, maybe you own a large corporation, and those people, they have influence over like the decisions that happen largely in the country. And the way that you see these influences and these decisions take state is with lobbyists. So now lobbyists are the people that, it's basically like the revolving door of politics. It's basically they'll either work in corporate or they'll go back to politics. So basically these lobbyists, their ideals is like depending on where they work. Say you work for JP Morgan, right? And you work for JP Morgan, maybe you hold like a very senior position within JP Morgan, couple years of experience under your belt, you've done a couple of good things. You would then lobby and then jump into politics so that your policies are basically what JP Morgan is wanting to get out of the American economy is going to happen.
A former JP Morgan banker is becoming the president of Pakistan now. So
who's basically going to have an influence or a very big hand within Pakistani economics policies? Somebody from JP Morgan. And if you look at it in terms of like democratic, countries around the world, that's also how I voted this year. I didn't really care about who's who. I cared about where do you come from and what policies are you trying to, because now I'm voting with my money. I'm working. I want to make sure that my rand stretches as far for me. So you can't really pick sides when it comes to politics. It's difficult. It's hard to separate emotion from like what's happening. So you need to look at the policy and stuff like that. And I have a very sneak suspicion that sometimes the people that you put out, because I feel like government tends to be puppets. They aren't.
Democrats are puppets. They have to sell the treasury. Sure. They're not getting votes unless they sell the treasury.
Then what are Republicans if Democrats are puppets? Because if they also get put in the same position, will they also not be somebody else's puppets?
Well, when it comes to capitalists, they work on the premise that capital, money, serves the most power.
Capital gains.
And the whole concept is, look, we need things delivered. The best man wins.
But whose interests are they looking out for? But whose interests are they looking out for? Because if you, JP Morgan says like, nah. Because at the end of the day, JP Morgan...
The interest of everybody who wants to earn their living and who wants their labor to be valued.
But hear me out, right? You come from JP Morgan. A couple of accolades down your belt. If JP Morgan is the one who's, in a sense, funding maybe your political run, or they're trying to get you in office, they're trying to put you in a specific... Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Put you in this specific place, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to put you in the finance department or the finance whatever of the States. It feels very weird to me that you, as a JP Morgan, whatever, maybe you're running for your state. I don't feel like you would probably have the interests of what I'm looking for in my dollar there. Right, you're obviously going to have some policies. You're trying to get into office. You're going to tell me what I need to hear. Right, you just want to get the spot because you know what that spot brings. But now I don't feel like you would probably have the same interests, or you would probably care about the interests of the people who you're supposed to be serving. Exactly, because now you're more concerned of what JP Morgan's interests. So if JP Morgan says we don't want this, to, like the example, they don't want them to start taxing banks or start taxing entities more money because it's going to be more money for JP Morgan and they're going to lose out. So it's that thing of like the deep state. They're very powerful. They have a lot of influence, and they not necessarily know. So they're like the shadows of the basically what's going on in the country.
Real power is silent. That's what they say.
Exactly. So now it's like sometimes you need to recognize, I guess, maybe the faces, the corporations, or the names that seem to pop up
like
in your politics.
And Vanguard.
Yeah, they keep even there at the National Assembly, whatever. They always have arguments about the De Beers. Julius Malema likes to bring it up to Cyril Ramaphosa and to the National Assembly. And all these opposition parties are always like pointing fingers at things.
You know what you can do with. You know what you can do. Do you know how much value they have? It's somewhere close to $700 billion.
Where do they get that money?
Dollars.
Where do they get that money?
They got it selling gold.
From where?
Selling diamonds, selling gold from miners.
And how much of that $700 billion?
Apartheid was actually, like, the campaign against apartheid was actually started by miners that felt exploited.
I mean, sometimes, to be fair, sometimes if you look at the mining issues, because remember, EFF was also founded off of, like, they were technically a mining party.
Yeah,
they stood for the right, especially after Marikana. That's basically how EFF, Julius Malema, because he disagreed with how Marikana was handled.
This country's built off of the mines. There's a lot of.
But now, off of that $700 billion that the De Beers got, how much of it? What could you say?
It's in America. It's listed under the New York Stock Exchange.
Do you think the De Beers have like shilling there in Sandhurst, so they have like maybe on the Stellenbosch Mountains? No. Me personally, if I had $700 billion, I don't think I would stay here, and that's just me.
In South Africa,
I would visit, but I wouldn't say I live here. This would not be my place of residence. I don't even think those guys probably have like a South African ID.
Low tax environments. But then like that look at Dubai. I know Dubai runs like, a lifestyle in Dubai is nice, but guys, there's poverty in Dubai. There's poverty in Dubai. There's people that sleep in banks. In Dubai is where you see capitalism at the extreme, right? And obviously, something like social media is gonna say that, but
sure.
And they don't even show that as well in Dubai.
Yeah, we don't need that. I don't think anybody will like or subscribe.
Think about it. South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. There's so much wealth, but it's never shared properly. So now the De Beers have $700 billion off of the gold that they took from our country, and half of our people are starving.
That's what depreciates the rand, especially lately. There's a lot of capital outflow. There's a lot of people with money that feel threatened to be here with their money, especially high income earners. Or even people of, a purer color, they feel threatened. Some of them, some of my friends say they feel that they're under genocide in this country, and everywhere they go, they can't raise their voice because
there is a sort of I've heard
they're gonna be
profile
rich shaming. It's now called rich shaming. It's called rich shaming, where it's like you get
hating rich people.
No, but like it's also now thing like where you either shame or you look down or you sort of have the certain ideal over people who have more money. It does stem from a place of envy. I definitely agree. I don't want to believe, not that I don't want to, but I definitely understand that there's this thing going on with rich shaming. And that also, I feel like that story ties in with what's been going on in Cape Town. Have you heard the story about the digital nomads coming to Cape Town?
Yeah. Prices are going high and it's not for the people.
Because I remember the name of it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically... Yeah, I remember
guys, I've
using
always
that
said
name.
that Cape Town is the Europe in Africa. Cape Town is basically Europe in Africa. It's felt like that. If they had it their own way, they would lower taxes, and honestly, you'd have Monaco in the middle of the world, right at the harbour, the centre of the world.
Then Cape Town wants to be its own. Western Cape wants to be its own independent country.
Yeah,
honestly,
it did want.
On evaluating in completely based off of value, with the capacity they have, the resources they have.
What percent of Cape Town's GDP? How much of the GDP? What percentage of the GDP does Cape Town produce in South Africa?
I can't give an accurate number. I really can't.
But no, Cape Town can't be a country on its own.
It can't.
Man.
It's still very reliant on SA.
And the culture there, Robben Island, like there's a lot of things background with
they have their own way, because already they have resources that are attracted to the world, and they need to sell that. They need to make that more valuable, right? So if you have the whole world wanting to come to Cape Town, now be like, oh yeah, we can go to Cape Town, but then hey, the South African government is going to take 50% of our wealth and give it to poor people. Now it's not going to be a place where people come and live. It's going to be a place where people come and visit.
But that's also what's happening in Cape Town now, because it's like, if I'm from Cape Town and I work in Cape Town, I can't even afford to live close to my work. I can't afford to, it's expensive to stay in Cape Town. Because now there's a digital nomad who's earning in dollars. Maybe he's coming into that, he's living in, Cape Town for about and he's earning maybe like what 30,000-40,000.
And guys, by the way,
and I can't afford to live there.
If you're a digital nomad, your first, let's say you're South African, right? Let's say you're a South African taxpayer. Your first 1.5 million every year is tax-free. If you can prove that you are outside the country for more than half the year. So mostly now what you find is that South African people with South African tax commitments, now they just spend a good time up the pole.
The Western Cape has the third largest economy among the 9 provinces of South Africa. The province contributed 14.2% to South Africa's GDP in the first quarter of 2023.
Hold on. So what, they go like on vacation for like half a year? South Africans.
We go on vacation half a year. Well, you just need to prove that you don't need to be in this country.
You earn that money outside of the country.
You don't need to be in this country for you to make that money. And if you can prove that by staying out the country for more than 6 months, then your first 1.5 million is tax free.
So what does that entail? That means you must have a company based elsewhere in the world.
You don't even need a company.
You need to be earning that money outside of SA.
That law is only for an individual. So now what you find is that there's people that don't register companies anymore.
What if you sell drugs?
How are you washing that money?
If you sell drugs, honestly, you shouldn't be paying taxes.
Where are you getting your payslip from? Taxes from selling drugs? Who's giving you a payslip after selling drugs?
If you get audited, somebody's gonna find it. Like there's people that went to school.
What is the best way to wash money?
Restaurants, like an actual shop.
Bars, restaurants, clubs.
Yeah, something that has a cost and a profit.
Okay.
And then a sale price. So now you can start hiding things in your cost.
Okay, and then who checks your books?
The auditors. So that's what I was about to say. Like, there's a lot of people that went to school and they studied really hard. So now they have an attitude of redundance. So they commit to you in the audit. Guys, I was getting audited on Thursday. So petty reasons. Such petty reasons.
They audited you.
So wait, what do you provide for them to audit you?
That was a different client. That was on behalf of Health and Welfare CETA, HW CETA. They provide. They're basically in the South African Department of Health, and they were running a survey, so forth, measuring the impact of their contributions, because they give bursaries, they give learnerships, they give apprenticeships, and they wanted to know, like, hey, is this thing working? Are people using this course? Are they getting promotions? Are they getting
jobs?
Are they getting jobs? You know, are they growing their career? Are they starting businesses? So as an interviewer, it's my job to
answer.
To get these answers, and obviously my gift is talking to people. So the best way to get these answers is to talk to people. So I was audited off my recordings with these people.
So continue.
But I was audited off my recordings with these people because they were like, no, why are you rushing? But then, guys, if I ask you, when did you receive your certificate, does that not imply that you have received your certificate? So now they're like, no, you skipped the question. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's just that thing of people feel redundant to every detail because they have nothing to do. There's no employment. So, I mean, I respect accountants and auditors. I myself have an academic background in it. But, you know, these a lot of the time, especially lately, there's a lot of useless laws and audits that are really just a waste of
So wait,
capacity.
I'm trying to understand. Like, what do these people do? They call you, email you, be like, we want your bank statement? Like, how is that process? What do you provide?
That's what
Okay.
What do you provide to them?
No,
like,
he did a survey for the government of the thingy for the Department of Health, where he had to go and call people and ask them how the certificate, you know. Like how
helpful is the program?
How far have you gotten since you've taken that course?
Okay.
It's like maybe after like maybe 2 years, your university calls you and they say, hey, how's it going? Like, are you job? How are you? How would you rate?
Monitoring and evaluation.
How valuable would you say this degree is? Would you have gotten the job without the degree? Would it still have been the same?
Have you used it ever since?
Have you used it?
Some people, they study healthcare, they end up in a restaurant. So
I studied healthcare and ended up in creatives.
Corporate, what do you mean?
Not only. Corporate is like basically what I do 9 to 5, and then 5 to 9 I party it up.
Oh, okay.
Make my money in other ways.
Yeah.
I make a lot of cash too.
Shut up.
So I need to find. Oh, let me keep quiet. Self-incrimination is the worst.
Definitely. But yes, now you know if you need to clean anything. Hint, hint. Yeah, but so in terms of SARS, right? Do you work? Have you ever had any work that you had to do? Yeah.
No, I have never engaged with SARS. I did tax all the way to final year.
Okay.
And I have the legislation, the entire legislation, all the laws, because we're allowed to walk into the exam with the legislation. You must prove your statements. You must prove your practice, your accounting practice, and you must reference the law. So
under the tax law.
So you know these things right now in your head.
Because in school, it's like, look, anybody can learn anything, but at what pace can you learn it, right? So you must really reference the sections. You must know your section numbers. If you say, I'm deducting this one because it's allowable in the tax law, nobody cares. You get 0 for that. What section? What section of the law? So it's more like you studying law, but specifically for tax and SARS.
Tax, okay.
So most of the time, actually I did do a project for SARS. I did. It was somebody's employment slip and section 11F, which is the pension fund contributions. So whatever you contribute to your pension fund is deducted against your taxable income. So it's like basically saying, hey, if you pay for your pension fund, whatever you spend, we remove that from how much we can tax you, because it's like we want that for you. So we had to do section 11F for them. But then obviously people are
Wait. So if I use the money in my retirement funds, I basically, I earn more. It's like a good thing for my tax money. So if I'm putting money in my retirement fund and I'm using that money as well, it's better for me tax-wise.
Is this about the two-pot system?
No, I'm talking about what you just said now. You said it's almost like incentivized to use if you spend money.
Oh, it's incentivized for you to have a pension.
Yeah.
It's incentivized for you to have a provident
fund. So
you
having a provident fund or thingy, retirement
and you
fund,
actually contribute to it. You actually pay to it.
So there's less of a tax implication, or
on
there's
you
less
because you're making virtuous choices.
So you can end up getting more on your tax return because you're contributing this much.
You're not allowed to get a tax deduction on a fine.
Okay.
If you get fined, then you can't put that on the tax system. Like, hey, can I remove this from my taxable income? Because actually, when you pay a fine and then you present your financial statement, your profit, all the amounts you paid for fines is added back into your income. I know the money went, but it's added back. You can make 400,000. You had a fine of 300,000, and let's say your profit is 400,000. They're gonna tax you off of 700,000 because yes, you're reporting a profit of 400,000, but you made 300,000 and you had to pay a fine for. They don't care.
So you'll be taxed on 700,000, not 400,000, which is what you have.
Because it's a matter of principle.
Okay.
And then the fines, what can you get fined for?
So the biggest fines in what concept? In tax or in?
Yeah, in tax, yes.
The biggest fines in tax are paying late. Yeah, paying late can be a really big problem because they charge you 10% of. You have to pay what you owe.
Yeah.
But then they also add 10%. So if your amount of tax to pay is big, let's say you have to pay 4 million.
Okay.
Now let's say you miss it by 2 weeks. Now you have to pay 4,400,000. So it's the discipline, the accuracy of it that they charge the most for.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So how many years to study whatever you studied in business? So after high school, of course, after matric.
So what I do now was never taught to me in school. In the true sense, I am in business development, which is equivalent of telemarketing. So that was never one of my subjects. But for me to develop competency in finance, I did. It took about, I think counting correctly, it's 7 years. Not after school, 7 years including grade 10 from because I never studied in school. I never took it seriously until grade 10.
When you like what, pure maths and stuff?
Yeah,
like, okay.
I did pure maths and everything, but I never took it seriously because until grade 10. So even for me to develop the competence that I had, it's because that's when I started making the decision that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to devote to. And since grade 10 up to, and then you go to university, I did a 4-year program. And yeah, so it's taken about 7 years. And I studied what I did in high school, because I did accounting, economics, and business. So already with that, you develop, you grow a lifestyle, and your eyes begin to see that as a reality. So really, when I started uni, it was one of those things that, let's just practice every day. It became more of a practice than like actual learning.
Then yeah.
So yeah, especially at the later stages. But yeah, 7 years. 7 years of accounting from grade 10. Right? Otherwise, it's 4 years.
And then in your family, are you the only one who's doing like the business stuff?
Yeah, I'm the only one doing finance and business. I'm the only one that actually does business.
Okay.
And even at home, they had a problem with me because they were like, take a job, take a 9 to 5. But then I kept on proving that, listen, I can do this, here's the money, let me be, And eventually they let me do it, and it's going really great at the moment. So I'm the only one to do business. I've always been obsessed with business. So they've always been asking me like, hey, get a real job, get this, get that. But then I'm somebody who believes in myself all the time. So just took it on the chin.
My belief with that, like I feel like if the education system was more focused on developing the entrepreneurship spirit in people instead of this one-way system then anyone could use whatever they have to make money. I feel like that would be perfect, and I feel like you are the perfect example of that, because like you are like, whatever we put you in, you'll be able to make a business out of it.
Yeah, so there's a saying that as an entrepreneur, you must be able to jump off a plane and build an airbag on the way down. So usually that's how it is in business, and you just have to take the risk. And honestly, guys, you can't have everything perfect in business from the start. It's not the way it works.
Yeah,
you genuinely have to. This is whatever your business is. You genuinely have to start it. You commit to it. You learn from it. You grow, and
what are some biggest losses you've had
in monetary value? Money value. I blew 7K trading forex.
Okay.
I blew 7K trading forex 2022 September, because I was like, I was trading the whole analogy that, hey, it's September, it's now American winter, markets are gonna have liquidity. Like I was obsessive studying, so.
You lost it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I started with a 500 Rand account, took it to 7K, and I blew the 7K, all of it.
You traded it?
Didn't even take. No, the things I built it.
Okay, I had 7,000 in dollars.
7,000 US dollars
in forex. And I also blew it because I was like, I've gotten this far, I can get more.
Yeah,
why is it
consistency. It's an approach. It's it's a flow.
Good. I'll call you later. Now I'm still shooting the pot. Yeah. Sharp. I love you.
Aww, you got that. You got that. Oh. Oh, that's so lovely.
Yes, you're still.
What were we on?
Biggest losses.
Yeah, biggest losses in forex, 7K.
You're still saying in forex.
My biggest loss in business, I have never taken a loss in business.
No else.
Okay.
Because everything I did in business came back to me 100 fruitful.
My biggest L in business was I gave somebody 3,000. I lost 3,000. Asked him to buy me product. Still haven't heard from that guy.
Till today.
I mean, I did, but it's like I parted ways with it.
I mean, I could say that I lost 1.4 about 2 months back for Apollo. Apollo is a CRM software. And I was just like, hey, maybe I can use it, but then it's just the capacity of it, like it's genuinely for big corporations. And to me, as much as I work with a lot of clients, I speak with a lot of people, they're not my clients, so I can't adopt them into the system as my own. Yes, I can run the 5 campaigns, but I have more than 5 campaigns.
So you lost.
So I lost all of that because of the software, you know, like it's a redundant software I can't use, but it came back. I mean, from that I learned about web scrapping. Now I'm a brilliant web scrapper. Yesterday or today Sunday, 2 days ago, I got a client 8 appointments, right? 8 one-on-ones with committed, deliberate, intentional prospects. And I did that through web scrapping. I generated all the contacts, but I couldn't have done that if I didn't lose what I paid in my pursuit when looking for a good CRM or a good way to get richness of contacts. So
what's I'm getting, like, what's the balance that you have to have between remaining, you know, having like a good heart, being a good person, like being genuinely a good person, and elevating in business? Because that you know, the top business people tend to not, you feel, so what's like the balance like? Do you have to affirm yourself every morning that don't forget to be nice today, or like what's that like?
So you can't in business, for you to be ruthless and be good at it, you're not gonna have longevity in that. I've noticed myself in business that I get most of my clients because of the person I am. People, sure, they can get the same service off of, I don't know, some alpha marketing firm, but because they've spoken to me, they know the person I am. And I take a lot of pride. I'm very prideful. I'll admit that. So even when I do embrace the business or the work that I do, with the dignity that I have, it must be delivered well. So that striving to be a better human being in terms of being fair, delivering good quality, that is what makes me a better businessman. And honestly, I speak with a lot of clients, you know, some of them are very rude, and sure, they have a lot of the attitude and, you know, all of that. But if you look at them in terms of business what it is, sure, in business you have to be ruthless, guys. At a certain point you have to trim the fats, right? You can't waste your time talking to somebody who's complaining about your price. That's the wrong customer. They're gone, right? So over time you get better at the balance. But in business, you must be made of velvet and steel, right? You must be very hard, you must be very firm, you must be disciplined, consistent, and, you know, you must be very, very, very hard, but you must also have a very delicate heart to communicate
and be sweet.
Yeah, you know, to communicate your product and to feel the affection of the product. To connect. Yeah, it's very important. You know, life is about moments. It's about affection. It's about feelings, right? And you look at Apple, right? It's because of the feeling the aesthetic evokes.
They sold the feeling. They sold like an experience. They didn't sell a product more so.
And
I feel like they sold like a certain level of class.
Yeah, they sold like a...
it's like you are in a certain level if you are...
opulence and luxury, and it's good to be part of that. And
to be a part of the app gang.
Yeah,
App gang.
Yeah, shout out Android.
I'm an Android boy through and through, you know. No offense.
Wait, you use an Android?
I use an Android.
Then why did I have to call you twice, dog? I have to call this guy twice for your phone. I feel like the first time I call you, like it rings but you don't answer. Then the second time I call you answer like on the spot, So I thought you were using
D&D.
an iPhone for a second.
Do not disturb.
So D&D is now on Android. Shout out Android. Upgrade.
D&D has always been on Android, but like this whole feature of like
for real.
Calling, because usually when you call someone on Android, even if they call you a second time, it wouldn't notify you. But now Android, like the first call, it won't really make a noise, like it won't notify you. It'll come as a missed call. Then the second call
will go through.
So if it's
that's
the same
crazy.
person, after like a period of time for sure.
No, that's crazy. So we are at 1 hour 38 minutes, guys.
No, that's great.
2 hours of content.
Well, almost 2. Next time we still have a lot of battery, ne? So next time we gotta shoot an early pod, then we can carry 4 hours max until the second battery dies. But while it's charging, we record. We charge the other one. We are recording. You feel like we just until the storage stops.
That's literally like that was literally like the only. I feel like that was the only annoyance with me when I started vlogging. It's like you'll vlog and you record, you either run out of space or you run out of battery. You just have to buy SD cards and like battery packs for days.
That's what you gotta
shooting content.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, no, it was so nice to have you in the building, bro. Cinci.
Oh, it's been a great combo.
Man, it's been so man, I don't know. The people have a lot to learn, eh? They have a lot to learn, and it's a lot of money talk, but that's what we need. But before we actually go, it's like I'm thinking right now, it's all this business and stuff. But what's your take on like the highest percentage of unemployment in this country, you feel? So
if you were to give, can I ask a different question?
Yeah.
If you were to give advice to people, say they want to either get to what you're doing or get to that level of like thingy, what would you
where
give
you
advice
paying
to somebody?
400k for dowry?
What would you say, like, for example, 5 things or like 5 things that you would say people should work towards, consider, or like be to get to where you're going?
No, thank you. That is a great question. So, I'll first answer the employment question. So, employment is great, and we do need more of it. We need an opportunity to at least start off and to build capacity, right? And to at least build knowledge, start off as a ground. There's a lot of people that start as employees, become their own owners. So, onto the matter of employment, it would be great to have a lot more people take some responsibility, take some courage, take some risk, and start the small businesses. Employ a young 20-year-old to do telemarketing for you. Give them their 4,000. They're people that would genuinely be like, nah, 4K is good.
There's a lot.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
But onto like rules for like prosperity and success is that money is a reality. Money is such a reality, and people treat it like it's a taboo topic. Like even when you have to talk about a payment that must occur, people are very, very soft and delicate about it. But money is such a harsh truth. It's a reality, guys. And as a financial advisor, as a accredited financial advisor, automatically I'm CIMA level 1 accredited with the qualification I have. I can tell you this now, that people don't like money. They genuinely don't. Like, there's a lot of people that they come across money and they let it go, right? And if you want wealth, your approach towards money has to be entirely different. You need to find pleasure in having money than whatever money can get you. So you must actually take great pride and great dignity into your ability to keep money, right? And sure, saving is good, but saving is pointless. There's other ways to make it, because money is just a slave. You must make it work hard. So if it's sitting down, then you're not making it work, right? So just to adopt the approach that money is a slave and must work really hard, and at the same time you need to have an affection towards literally money, not towards what the money can get you, not towards you want to have money so that you get a Beamer. The thing of you want money because you want to have money. And honestly, there's a whole different there's a whole different life and a reality to consistently having money.
It's super different, because when you say it, like I don't feel like personally, hold on. Personally, I don't feel like like always chasing after that, I feel like I'm more of the let me get a Beamer, and then once I get a Beamer, I'll probably want to go get a yacht, but like if I want specifically money, then I feel like my journey with money will be endless till I die, you feel? 100%. But at some point you have to stop the chase and focus on your family or whatever's more important in life than money.
If you because money is it's so powerful. And if you have it, if you consistently
it's a good tool
have it,
to have,
you have a good quality of life, and so will your family if you consistently have it. Because a lot of people, they make good money, but look, the stats came out of FNB that 85% of the South African salary is finished within 3 days. 85% is finished within 3 days, and most of it goes to basic things such as food, transport, education.
You like this? You took this photo, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah, man.
But the entire approach towards money should be that you cherish money, and you genuinely, if you're serious about wanting money, you need to genuinely want money. Like, you can't be like, oh, money's the root of all evil, it's have mentality. You can't be like, let me get this money and go buy food. No, it must be that thing of, I want money because I want money. And you must take a lot of pride in having your money, keeping it safe, making it work hard, making it work really hard. There's a lot of ventures I do that I don't see it as a risk. I just see it as, here I'm making my money work. I'll buy a computer and be like, yo, why do you need 2 graphics cards on a computer? Right? But it's that thing of, no, this money, I'm putting it to work. I'm gonna make it work really hard. And whatever I buy, because discipline is a really important concept of money, and you should really control impulse, temptation, lust, passion. You should control it. If you walk into a store and you find something you really like and you want to get it, you need it now. A rule of wealth is give it 72 hours. Whatever it is, whether it's moments of passion, whether it's anything you want, whether it can be something entirely not money involved, it can even be a fight, it can even be kids.
Okay, but 72 hours.
Give it 72 hours, and if you still
How
want
many
to,
days is that?
That's 3 days.
Okay.
And if you still want to, after that, then it's all yours. Gladly do it. And even if it's a financial decision, you'll be very proud of yourself for the fact that you slowed and you pondered on that decision you're making. And that's how you build the right attitude and the right. That's how you build gates of bronze with money, right? Because like, you have money, but it's very hard for you to break your barriers with this money. So just practice, guys. It's honestly, for me, I got it from a really good book. I read a lot of books, and one book that changed my life is The Richest Man in Babylon, because it genuinely treats and teaches you about money, and it teaches it in a biblical, spiritual sense. Because so that it's not like some scientific approach. Science was not a word until the 1800s. I always say this, like, it's always been a problem of labeling. So The Richest Man in Babylon is a classic. It's a classic. You ask the people that are 80 years old, they'll tell you that, no, my mother read that book. But the message in it, it's
I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos on it. When people tell me to read books, I go watch a YouTube video on it. It's
like
free. That's the equivalent,
But yeah, guys, hopefully
crazy.
I was shared with answers today.
No, bro, you shared so much, and I feel like if people like have more questions, then they could leave comments. Then we have another episode wherever
and
you
and subscribe.
Yes,
like
please let us know where can they find you though.
So you can find me, if you want to do business with me, you can find me on Fiverr. It's the highest freelance marketplace in the world. You can find me, my tag is Chef Cashflow.
Okay, I'll put your link in the description.
Yeah, Chef Cashflow on Fiverr. If you want to, I'm not on social media like that, because.
Oh, you just on Fiverr. What about your LinkedIn?
Yeah, my LinkedIn, my name is MPHATSO MANYAMBA. You can actually Google me, just Google MPHATSO MANYAMBA. There's a lot more you can find, obviously, but I'm sure you'll be able to access my LinkedIn.
I'll put your links also in the description.
Thank you.
Don't worry. But shout out, Cinci, OG Cinci on IG.
Notify me at OG Cinci on IG, and I don't think I have a Twitter. I don't have a public facing Twitter.
Yeah.
TikTok, I think it's also at OG Cinci. TikTok at OG Cinci. I don't really do much on TikTok. I repost. Instagram, nothing too crazy. Yeah, but if you're looking to work with me, you can definitely DM me from there. 100%.
By the way, I'm a business developer. The nature of my business, I give you clients. So if you're a business owner, you want some more clients, hit me up. What's against Chef Cashflow on Fiverr, and we can definitely find a way forward. I can get you clients, whatever campaign you want, whether it's an email campaign, whether it's an actual passionate, connective campaign where we call and talk to these people. We can achieve that as well. Most of the problems we have in business are about commitment and responsibility. So I do take a lot of responsibility for my clients. I came here on this podcast today just to, it wasn't a marketing campaign. Slightly of it was a marketing campaign, but it was a good promo. But hopefully beyond that, hopefully we had good moments and that we can actually find a way forward for businesses, which is what I love to do, and I'll be glad to do it for anybody else.
Yeah, no, shout out. I hope whoever needs business, hit him up. I'll definitely hit him up if I need something cleaned. But
cleaning services available.
But let's wrap up the episode. This has been one of the longest, the first ever 1 hour, over 1 hour 30 minutes episode
almost
of iTALK.
50 minutes. Shout out. No. And it's very dark in here, guys. The camera doesn't show how dark it actually is.
But it looks great.
It looks great on the camera.
Thumbnail.
Oh, thumbnail. Yeah. Y'all can pose for the thumbnail. Whatever pose you wanna do. You'll see which one makes
right. You'll see which one you enjoy.
Yeah, but shout out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and this video, I think it's here. Yeah, this one playing on your screen right now. You're supposed to click it because that's the best video on YouTube. That's
right,
click
this one right up here.
Don't miss out.